Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Saber here. And it's a last Saturday in August 2025. So let's talk about music. What music? The music that I listened to this week from my album and CD collections. And at the end, I'll tell you which two I picked that I had the most fun with this week. But before we get started, please go down there and hit that like button. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to help the channel grow. Please tell your friends. This channel is new. I moved it over to get it uncluttered. Would like to get some more subscribers so it gets pushed out a little bit more. And so here we go. I started the week off with 2001, I believe it is. It's a box set, 3 LP box set by George Harrison. All things must pass. I have this box set, and I have 3 CDs in the collection, and one of the CDs is this set also. But anyway, so I got a boast. This was George's first solo work after the breakup of the Beatles in April of that year. So that was in 2001. Oh, okay. Let me put this pause and let me look up the date on this. Okay, there we go. This was about 1970, following the breakup of the Beatles that year. It was his first solo work. And it includes the hit singles, My Sweet Lord and What Is Life, as well as such songs as Isn't It a Pity and the title track, All Things Must Pass. I'll try to show you some of this stuff in here. First of all, we got a big poster. Six-fold. George. That doesn't look like I put it back together again. Yeah, I can. I'd like to be careful with these. I don't put posters on the wall, but someday somebody might pick this up and want to put it on the wall. Then we have 3 different colored sleeves with lyrics on them. There is so much that can be said and read about George Harrison that I wouldn't leave that up to a lot of that up to you today. I like all of the media that I have by George Harrison, especially this one here. And I really like his work with the Traveling Wilburys. Yeah, he was one of them. But we're talking about All Things Must Pass, the 3 LP album. Especially sides 5 and 6 came some really nice instrumentals in there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we got all kinds of different. I'm going to try to show you this stuff. Side 1. Apple. In good shape. Got this quite a while ago from Esky and whatnot. Just got around to playing it this week. Second one has the same type of label on it, so I won't take that one out. The third has a different. Third, it had that green, yeah, with the apple written on it, and everything is falling, folks. Everything. This is 5 and 6. Apple Jam label. Okay, and then it's a pretty lighthearted box. A little ding up here on the top. Keep this a little more secure. Probably will after we're done today. On the inside, it's got some writing, some track writing, and that's it. But 3 really good LPs. So I am going to give this product, for me anyway, a VG for this week. If you guys like have this box set, or do you have it on CD, or what do you have from George Harrison? Let me know. Then I went into what I call my first disaster of the week. And when I always try to tell you where I got something from. I don't have the foggiest idea where I got this from, or why I got it, or was it recommended, or whatever it was. This is an album called In Absentia Del by Behemoth, Behemoth. It's 3 LPs. It's the only thing I have by them in this collection, and it will be the last thing I have in this collection. Don't have a clue where I picked it up. I started playing this, and I did something that I don't normally do. I only got through one full LP, and I stopped playing it. That's how much I did not like it. I don't ever recall doing that before. This production was good. All right, look at the labels and the way it's put together, and it's got a great big insert. I'll show you the insert. It's hard to tell what's the front and back in these. Quite a good sized book. I would give this, production wise, we're not talking about the music now. Production wise, I would give this an excellent. This has got such good graphics and everything. The book is good size. And then the way the albums are housed. Back. Front again. And then there's a triple fold. Has an album being housed in each one of the folds. So this was quite a nice design. Anything. So now I'm going to tell you. A lot of you follow me, that I do like hard rock. I do like heavy metal to a certain point. But this one was like death metal and thrash and all the grovelly voice. I don't like that grovelly voice. And this guy used it and screamed a lot, yelled. So after listening to 2 sides of this, I said, that's enough. Do you guys, if you're a death metal fan and thrash metal fan, this is not against you. Just that I am not into the liking that type of music. So that was In Absentia Del by Behemoth. Well, let's see. I looked up some notes, and it's, it was death metal and black metal. It was performed in 2020. The phrase In Absentia Del translates to the absence of God. It is notably the title of a live album by the Polish metal band Behemoth. The album reflects themes of defiance. I'm reading this, of course, and explores the impact of the pandemic on the music world. The phrase itself signifies a state or condition where the divine presence is absent and often used in physiological or theological discussions. Okay, whatever. All right, to each his own. For me, I have to rate this poor, music-wise. Production was really, really good. So overall, I would probably say I'd bump it up to like Bear Plus because of the music. Then I got surprised a little bit more. The next one is a 2021 reissue, like a 1964 album. Yeah, 1964. Name of the album is A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. Now, I have admitted before that 2025 was going to be my year to try to get in jazz and see if I like it or don't like it, and I'm having a hard time. So if any of you are jazz lovers, please tell me which way I should go for the entry. I'll tell you all about it. It's an album by him. He recorded it in one session in December 9th, 1964. Gatefold. From what I've read, it ranks amongst Coltrane's best-selling albums and is widely considered one of the greatest masterpieces in the history of jazz, one of the greatest albums ever made. Talk about that in a minute. So what happened is this never happened to me either. This is crazy. There's no inner in this. I'll show you that. So I listened to side one. Sounded funny, so I had to wipe it down a little bit. Listen to side two. Look at it, it's brand new. Here's where my problem came. Got to side three. I put the needle down, skipped all the way across the record, just like my tracking was crazy off. I looked at it, I couldn't see anything. I rechecked my tracking was within limits. Tried side four, same thing, roof. So I stopped. And yesterday I was doing some cleaning of albums, so using my spin clean. So I put this through the spin clean, tested out, and I cleaned it and dried it, so forth. And then when I put it on, it played normally. So I did get to listen to both of the LPs on this one, as it's a double LP album. And let's see what I was thinking about. The music. I didn't really particularly care for the music on this album. To me, it was really experimental or avant-garde. I'm not sure, but being a jazz newbie, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be hearing. If anybody can help me out, point me to the direction, something that I can understand. Okay, like other types of jazz that I like, but that all goes to rock, like rock jazz by yeah, can't even think of their name now. Never mind. We'll get to it. But anyway, there are some of the jazz a little bit of jazz that I have that are classified jazz that I like. This one here I did not like. I didn't like any of the four sides. So, because of what I read, how good rated it is, how great it is, and that but for me, I can only give it a G, a solid G. Production was real good, except for when that album came out of here. This was sealed. So no album that's sealed should come out of there, something on it that made that third and fourth line go like that. So pretty interesting week so far. I'm going from death metal to jazz that I couldn't play, that I had to reclean. Wow, crazy week. But I guess that's all part of being a music fan. That. So then the next week I said, we're going to get myself back on track and do some hard rock. And this was a 2025 2 LP reissue of a 2010 album by Ozzy Osbourne, Scream. For Ozzy, I have 4 LPs and 1 CD in the collection. A lot of good reading in there. Production quality on this one is excellent. The album itself was considered commercially disappointing in comparison to Ozzy's early work, even though it was a moderate success by reaching number 4 on the Billboard's Top 200, number 12 in the UK. Charted on 26 charts worldwide. So if this was labeled commercially disappointing, what defines success? You know, rating on the charts now, I don't think, I'm not sure if the amount of sales brings the thing up on the charts. I'm not sure about that. If somebody knows about that, let me know. Do sales bring it up on the chart? But these were up towards the top of the charts. So it must have been sales. Label said you didn't sell enough to make it worth our money. No inner on this one. Show you the label. Now it comes on a nice blue vinyl. 2 LPs. Yes, this is hard rock. This is heavy metal. But look at that blue. I'm looking through, from the back, it almost looks like a green. It's a blue. This is the kind of hard rock and heavy metal I like. I can understand it. I can actually hear the music being played. So anyway, enough of my negativity. That was the 2025 reissue of the 2010 album Scream by Ozzy Osbourne. Well, we've been moving along here today, quite lengthy. So now it's time for the CDs of the week. The first one we brought out this week is number 138, BTO's Greatest by Bachman Turner and Overdrive, 1986 album. This is the only thing I have from BTO in my collection. I mean, and it's enough, but I was wondering why. Why don't I have any LPs in that? So I got BTO. I'm going to have BTO on a watch for LPs. I liked it a lot, especially Taking Care of Business. You ain't seen nothing yet. Rocking stuff, folks. There's some other good, a lot of good ones. Little book. Isn't it nice when the words aren't backwards like they were on that one? And check out that video. I didn't know how that happened. Words came in backwards. That was funny though. Their 70s catalog included 7 top 40 albums, 5 in the U.S., 11 top 40 singles in Canada, 6 in the U.S. And I don't have no LPs, and this is the only thing I got. Boy, sometimes I wonder what I was thinking when I do these. I'm going to show you the back line. I'll show you the tracks. So, music-wise, this week I had to give this one a BG Plus recommended. BTO's Greatest, their 1986 album. Now next one is interesting. I pulled out his number 4 at 140. I said, "What the heck? Where's 139?" So I went and looked at the rack to see if it was misplayed. Moved around a little bit. It wasn't. So in my database, I looked it up, and 139 was a Christmas album, and the Christmas albums are stored in another rack. But so this one here, got to this one, forgot all about this. This is called China Sea, music from Can Kodori. This is by Morgan Cavett, 1991. Morgan Cavett and I were personal friends. We both met when we were doing volunteer work with a local performing arts youth theater group in the area. Morgan had written a play for them, so we started working together. He done a lot of great things. Needless to know, I did not know when I first met him that he was also a songwriter and a producer for Steppin Wolf. And so we had to do some work to do some recording of the Shenanigans music, though, youth theater group's music. So went up to his studio in Pinion Hills. He's got a studio, had a studio up there called Moon River Productions, and it was so cool to see the gold albums framed on the wall that he got as a producer and songwriter for Steppin Wolf. Morgan has passed away, but you can check him out. Last time I saw Morgan, I had a fair show, and Steppin Wolf was playing. And I saw Morgan up there doing some video, and so I talked to him afterwards and asked him what he was up to, and he said he was doing a documentary on Steppin Wolf. So I don't know if that ever got produced or not. His wife called me when he passed away. They were going to have a celebration of life in Los Angeles. I did not go to. I wish I had. I probably would have met a lot of nice, cool, or well-known people. Now this is jazz, and he made the trip to the Philippines, and his friend took him up in the mountains. And every morning and that he would hear the mountain tribespeople playing their drums and their music, to celebrate stuff and that. So when he got home, he was able to record some of it when he got home, and he put this album together. This is very nice, very relaxing, very relaxing. And there it is. Sign it, China Sea by Morgan Cavett from 1991. So this is also my connection to Steppin Wolf. All right, last of the week. The albums that were in the collection already. And this one here, I forget what the number is. I don't have it on here because I didn't put it on because I had got it relatively recently. This was the 2021 reissue of the 1979 album by Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. Fleetwood Mac, I have 3 LPs and 6 CDs and a 4 CD box set collection, or box set in the collection, all that in the collection. This is 2 LPs. It's the 12th studio album by them. It's got all these different inners in it, but they're just sleeves. There's really no lyrics or anything in it. The album itself was actually considered more experimental than their normal stuff that they do. Lindsey Buckingham was part of the group, but he was an engineer on this project. And Lindsey had an infatuation with Talking Heads. Now we're talking now 1979. Music tastes are changing and so forth, and he wanted Fleetwood Mac to be relevant in the current world. So, there was some animosity going on because of that, but none of them wanted to battle him for it. Plain labels. I picked it up, or somebody gave it to me as a gift in 2021, 2022. It's a 2021 production, but this time that I played it is the first time it got played. So that was Tusk by Fleetwood Mac, 2021 reissue of the 1975 album. So with all my trials, it was a good week. All right, so what did I list as number 1 and 2 for the week that I liked the most? The first one that I picked up was the 2025 reissue of the 2010 album by Ozzy, Scream. Pretty good stuff, very good. And then the second one that I liked, you probably could have picked that up in the way I was talking about it, was BTO's Greatest, their 1986 album. So that's it. Let me know what you think about this. Put some comments down there. SoCal Saber saying take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.